Hoi hoi, it's louisity again, and for this video, it's not gonna be a bookish one, but rather this is gonna be a have you ever video. Hoorah! Now, I was tagged on Instagram by bibliophilicrichard, a fellow bookish buddy of mine, and I was like, dude, you're gonna be exposing me on this one. And instead of responding to the story, I decided, why not have a non-bookish video for once? So that's what I'm gonna do, and let's begin. Okay, so have you ever lost your phone? No. Have you ever dyed your hair? Isn't it obvious? Several times. Like I did cellophane, or I had cellophane, I had my hair bleached and dyed, and right now I'm using colored wax, courtesy of Pen Shop. So that's why you would at times see me having reddish, or actually this is orange, and sometimes some blondish or dark blondish, because it's actually a blonde wax, but since my hair is black or darker, it does come off a little bit on the darker side. So okay, and then have you ever got sunburned? Yes, when I was a kid, I sometimes I don't put sunscreen. I remember when I was in 4th grade, I really had a bad case of sunburning. And then also, I think the last time that I got sunburned, just a little sunburn around my nose, was around in 2006, I believe. Yeah, I think I got sunburned at that time. And then, have you ever cut your own hair? Yep, in a way that I do cut my own bangs. And when I was in high school, I think I used to cut my sides here, just to I don't know, I just have this fascination of cutting my sides. And then, have you ever met someone famous? Here in the Philippines, yes, I have met Boy Abunda in person. And then, have you ever had a pet? Well, we have 3 cats at home. And then, have you laughed until you cried? I don't think so. I think that I have laughed so hard. I laugh loudly at times, but not to the point that I even had a teary eye. Not that I recall. Okay? Have you ever skipped school or class? When I was in college, I'll be honest, I did. One was intentional because the class, it was a general education, a chemistry class, and it was kind of it wasn't really a very interesting subject, and I felt it was okay. And because at the time it was enlisting period, so it's I have to be online in order for me to be able to be ahead in terms of enlisting my subject. So I had to skip that class because I was okay, there's no need. And yeah, there were a couple of classes that I missed due to omission because I thought that the classes were not going to push through. The special class is going to be another process for that, but apparently it still went through, and I ended up missing 2 classes. Good thing I was a dean's lister, so I have unlimited cuts, so I'm kind of safe. And then the next would have to be, have I ever fainted in public? Yes, I think I did pass out. There were I don't remember how many times that was, but yeah, I did end up fainting. And then, have I ever prank called someone? Not that I recall strongly, and not that I felt I actually I was thinking about there were times where I tried calling somebody and then I ended up just hanging up. That's the typical prank call, or even doing those prank call videos, you're gonna tell somebody something and then it's a prank! It's a prank! And then, have you ever broken a bone? Nah. No. Have I ever cooked my own meal? No, I don't really know how to cook. Maybe created my own desserts or those things in the oven, but I've never turned on the stove or then cooked something on a pan, or you know what I mean. And then, have I ever lied about my age? I don't think so. I think what I make people do is I make them guess. Have you ever gotten a piercing? No, not yet. How I wish I can have like an ear piercing or ear piercings, so that I can wear earrings and nowadays it's a trend, wearing those dangling earrings, which I kind of like and digging. But due to, the pandemic, can't really get out. It's not really much of an urgent need. But I know that there are like piercings that you don't, or rather earrings that you don't really need piercings anymore. So I hope that I can get one of those at least. And then, have I ever traveled solo? Like outside Metro Manila? No. Like going around places in Metro Manila, which by the way, it is a challenge. I mean, in terms of like transportation system, because we're so congested. So it's like when you travel from one city to another, especially when they're like more than 10 kilometers away from where you're at, it's actually kind of a travel already. But I think in the context of like traveling, let's say going to Palawan or to Boracay on my own, as in like myself, no, I haven't. And then, have you ever had braces? No, I never had. And then, have you ever ate a lot of ice cream? Now, this is kind of subjective because, like, to me, the average for me is like probably like 2 cups. Sometimes it happens wherein I would eat 2 cups of ice cream or 1.5 cup of ice cream for every meal. But nowadays, I kind of like control that. But like, yeah. So probably in some context, maybe for some folks, I have. Okay, my phone suddenly like decided to sleep. And then, have you ever tried to learn another language? Yes, right now I am listening to different podcasts of Korean language, or they call it Hangugo. So I listen to different like Hangugo podcasts, different like Korean language podcasts. So I really want to learn Hangugo. I really want to learn Korean, and I used to learn like Spanish, and I can actually say huge numbers. So let's say 3,456. So that is 3,456. See, like those big numbers in Spanish. So yeah, I would love to learn and be more fluent in Spanish and Korean. So yes, so much learning. Anyway, and then, have you ever didn't shower for a day? Yes. Yes. And then, have you ever read a whole series in one go? And how do you mean by one go? Like consecutively? Because if you're counting the reread of Percy Jackson, the Olympic series that I did in 2020, well then that would count. But in terms of like actually binge reading a series, like marathon to the point we're in, it's like in one sitting, or like it's a matter of days. No, I have not. I usually put like gaps in between series, because I kind of like, as much as I would love to finish a series, I kind of like, I don't want it to end yet, and I kind of like the whole, it's kind of like the US TV series style, wherein after a season, they will release the succeeding season like a year later or months later. So that's what I kind of do. I haven't finished the Heroes of the Olympus series yet. My TBR chart hasn't made me pick the Blood of Olympus. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Feel free to comment down below your reactions, what are your thoughts, and if you're willing to answer any of those questions, well, feel free to do so. So yeah, I guess that's about it. If you made it this far, leave a leg emoji, because I just feel like I want you to leave a leg emoji. So no further explanation. So I guess that's about it. If you folks like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And also putting down my links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Let us keep in our minds and our hearts to be loving and kind, always be thankful, and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.